which will give our greenhouses something to shout about, I guess. Make the bees happy. I can't remember if sunflowers are also boosted by bees. I guess I could look at the help. Oops. Let's try forwards. Forwards is good. I'm kind of guessing that we will end up with God, grief. Even this tank could do with a little bit more. We're running 200 horsepower here. I guess this tank is probably just shy of twice the size of Tom Pemberton's tank, and he's running his on 100 horsepower tractors. We're running a 200 here and struggling. Anyway, looks like everybody's done, so let's put that back on a worker and hope they manage, and we'll actually go the other way. Mulcher is kind of what? Why are we here? Dude, this is just not right. Oh, I know what happened. So, got to the end of the field, needs to get round the beehive. Doesn't see the beehive from this height, so decides to drive through the hedge. And then once they're through the hedge and start doing their turnaround, they find, oh, there's a beehive in the way. Anyway. Get this mess cleaned up. And the nice thing about doing this is it does deal with the weeds temporarily. Okay, let's raise that. And, oh, this tractor's struggling too. Could actually plough the back end of this field and make it a little bit bigger. Not going to, but that's a lot of grass there that we could make use of. So I have noticed, what was it, Court Farm has released to the mod hub. And I've had about 20 YouTube channels streaming or videos of Court Farm in the last week. Sort of, yeah. That's one of the reasons I'm not picking to play it. Chances are, if I, obviously I have no insight into what Oxygen David's plans are for doing farming simulator maps in the future, but usually his very first map on a new series, which I believe we're looking at Farm Sim 25, is going to be the next series. I haven't seen the announcement, but I did hear someone mention that Farm Sim have declared that, or Giants have declared that Farm Sim 25 is going to be the next version of the game. But typically what Oxygen David has done in the past is start off with a fairly compact map. You look at, is it Marwell Manor in 19, and I can't remember what 22 was. but they're fairly compact maps. And then he turns his attention to do something major. For Farm Sim 17 and 19, he's usually done a brand new map as his first outing, but then he went and redid things like Lone Oak Farm, Oakfield Farm, the Seaside one, which again I forget, but from Farm Sim 22 he said he wasn't, at least as far as Farm Sim 22 is concerned, he wasn't going to release any revisits of old maps. So we weren't going to get Culborough Park or anything like that. And because he takes a lot of care and attention to make his maps, so they are a long time in production, which means when one comes out, everybody's sitting there waiting for it, which means everybody who has a YouTube channel is probably going to end up streaming it, which means that I'm probably not, because I'm looking for something that maybe is a little off base. I know there are some people doing Glenlathen videos, but not that many. Yeah, you're talking 2s and 3s rather than 10s and 20s. So considering doing Glenlathen is not a big deal, and because of the way I'm doing things, I'm going to be outlasting them anyway. This map was a Farm Sim 19 map, so you really didn't get very far, did you? So because it's a Farm Sim 19 map, I think fewer people are likely to play on it, because they already did in Farm Sim 19. In spite of the fact there were changes between 19 and 21, 22, 21, whatever we're playing. It's just work a go. It's just far few people, given the choice between a brand new Oxygen David map or Maypole, people are going to be doing videos on Maypole. Not Maypole. Brand new Oxygen David map. So, yeah, that's my theories here. So, Glenlathen is a new map, but came out at the same time as Court Farm. So, more people are looking into Court Farm than are looking into Glenlathen. Especially those that are biased towards UK maps. Obviously, people who prefer American maps probably not going to look at either of them. There was someone, I'm only on Disturbed Simulations Discord at the moment. Unfortunately, my Discord account just completely failed. So I tried to log back into it. It said I had to enable and it was going to send me an email, and it didn't. And I could not get it to send an email to my main email address, so I had to create a new account using a different email address. So I now have a different account, and the only Discord channel I've got access to at the moment is Disturbed Simulations. So I was on there the other day and someone else was saying, they were talking about differences between Saxthorpe and Glenlathen. Saxthorpe, the edges of the fields tend to be piled up dirt with grass growing on them, which is quite typical for the UK. They tend to build up the sides of the road, so you can't see what's going on in the field, but it creates a barrier between the road and the field, or a field and the next field. And then they allow wildlands to grow on the mound, so that animals can live in it. That, sort of nature type thing. And then they leave gaps in the mounds in order to get the heavy equipment into the field and out of the field. But there's frequently not many gates. Whereas on this map and on Glenlathen, you're looking at this hedge style, where you can chop the hedges down by cutting the posts in half to make gaps in the hedges, or you can remove them completely by cutting out the entire range of hedges. Now that's the other option. But there were comments that obviously this map doesn't have gates. You have to put in your own gates if you want them. Oxygen David tends to have gates at the entrances to all his fields, and he'll have dry stone wall, he'll have hedges, he'll have fences. The issue is that the challenge of the map is based on how wide the gate is. If the gate's too narrow, you can't get the big equipment in. And so you're limited to the small stuff. And it's an interesting style, because with Oxygen David's maps, he tends to give you a farm with 2 or 3 large fields, but small equipment. It's going to take you a long time to work it. But okay, that's part of the challenge, but you can never. It's difficult to increase the size of your equipment on these maps because you're still limited by the entrances to the fields. And so one of the guys said something along the lines of, I like the big maps with the open fields, very few hedgerows, and either no gates or wide gates, no impediment to accessing from the road. And the immediate response was, well, in that case you want to play on American maps, because a lot of America is like that. And I think my local area, you tend to have hedges around a field, but the entrance is huge and open, and between fields the farmers sort of artificially split the fields, but they don't split the fields with a hedgerow. But once you're off the main road onto farm tracks, there's no hedges. You drive down a farm track and there's an open field on each side, and the only thing you might have that sort of prevents entrance to a field from anywhere is, thinking of Millennial Farmer's fields, he tends to have ditches along the side of the track, so you can't just drive into the field from anywhere. You can stop your vehicle, climb out, jump over the ditch, but also you can put a header on a harvester and drive into the field through the sort of the bridged area over the ditch, and your header's not getting stuck in any hedges because there aren't any hedges. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I should probably get back to this guy because he is not done. So sadly I did have 2 fish die this week, although one of them has been faking dead for about 2 weeks now, so that one wasn't a surprise. The other one was a little bit of a surprise. But they're live breeders, so they're constantly replenishing number of fish in the tank. So we still have a healthy population. I am thinking this is going to be much less than a full tank completing this, I guess. I'm not sure I'm going to use this tank on the next series. It's been okay. I mean, it's a fairly good size for horsepower, but the whole thing on the back just annoying. You have to detach or you either have to detach or lower that rear attacher in order to disconnect from the tank. Okay, and the last bit. And folding it up doesn't turn it off. You have to raise it to turn it off. It's a little bit annoying. Anyway, let's get across the road, and I think we're nearly done with the mulching, so maybe I may leave the mulcher at the BGA just because it's going to be easier to do it that way, I think. Let me guess, I hit the fence. Yes. Alrighty. I think for a well, you know what, looking at this field I was thinking maybe I should go across the field because it's flat. It really isn't. This field is a horrible gradient. Has a huge peak in the middle and then just a long deadly climb here, but I'll do it this way. This is the way I normally do the field. That will probably work. Let's see where that goes. No. That doesn't work. Let's get the tractor lined up on a 0 heading and then go. Now, I think one of the nice things about having a long piece of kit, the tractor detects that yes, this field needs some work on it, but while the applicator is still over a bit that doesn't need work on it, it figures it all out. Whereas if you're using something that's immediately behind the tractor, it just says, oh, there's nothing underneath my implement, I'm not going to do the work. I think what I've done here is I haven't gone far enough over, so there's going to be a missed bit along the edge, probably more towards the top. Oh, well, doesn't matter. As I've said before, we're going to come in with spray and just spray the entire field once there's a crop in it. So no big worries there, and you have stopped because there's a stick in the hedge. Is that my field? No, that's not my field. Okay. That's why I haven't done this yet, because it's not my field. I do have GPS on this, so I could use it if I felt like it, but I think right now let's get a little closer to 90. And that worker should put us on 90 degrees, and we are good. Close to good. Mostly good. Absolutely good. Okay, so worker continues then. Should we look at a price of fields? Because really we are making a lot of money. So potential fields for me that I was looking at was this one, which has now already been harvested. It's silty clay, so it's crap, but it is cheap for a chair. It's cheaper. And it's only going to cost us 32,000. Nice. This one here is awesome, 17% expensive, 42%. That's cheap, but it's got sugar beets in it. Yeah, this side of the farm has become quite expensive. This is some nice land here, coming through here. Lots and lots of loam, but kind of pricey. This, meh, meh. That one, oh, pricey. That one, yeah, cheap. See, I could buy that one. It's not going to add anything to us. It would just add to, we're going to need to work it. It looks like it's already been worked to a certain extent, but it's silty clay, so it's not the greatest. Any of these have corn in them. That one and that one have corn. And that one. So I could look at 39, because that's straight down there to that one. We could look at those two. Farmland, 43. It's a discount. It's 84,000. I think 76 is a little bit expensive. 96,000. That's 69,000. You know, 43. 84,000. It's kind of a mix of loam and sandy loam, but I think that's fine. We'll purchase the soil information quickly. That will give us 57 score. And we could go in there and still pH, nothing I can do about it. Oh, actually, that looks like a good application of fertilizer. So it's got good fertilizer. This has got good fertilizer. Yeah. So that will, as soon as we harvest that field, that will boost our environmental score a bit. 57 is going to degrade it very, very slightly. It gives me 2 cornfields to do the thing that you do with them. I went the wrong way. And you're empty. It's a shame the tank's not 39,000 litres. I do like having sort of full loads. Same with a harvester. If my harvester's 10,000 litres, I kind of like to have a cart that'll do 20 or 30, so that I can empty them twice or 3 times before having to go anywhere. What I hate is a harvester that has 8,000 litres and a cart that has 20, because 20 is 2.5 loads. So you get sort of 80% full, or you get 100% full, but you don't have long enough to run anywhere and empty it before the harvester's full again. Let's get that lined up and go worker. And he'll run forward to there, and then he'll lower it and start driving. Okay, what did I want to do? I want to, okay. The Fendt has effectively gotten to the end of the field. There's still bits to do, but we're just going to have to fill them in for him. So as I said, from here, I think I'm going to leave the mulcher over at the BGA, because we'll have both the other tractors coming through the BGA and leaving their tanks there once all the work's done, so they can bring it back to the farm. We'll grab the bale trailer, grab all the bales, and then head over to the cow farm, drop off the bale trailer. And then I need to get probably the sprayer, spray all the corn that hasn't been sprayed yet, which is basically the new field. And then grab the lime spreader and start going over the fields which have digestate in them and spreading the lime. So we're playing catch up with this guy, which is no big deal. Now once all the field prep's done,